Guys, my name's Dale Spears and I'm from SIB TV, which means Should I Buy That Van? And today we're going to do a review on the Ford Transit. So today's model is an L3 H3 leader model. So that is the most basic spec. Ford do 4 different models. You've got a leader, you've got a trend, you've got a limited and a trail model. So today we're going to look at the leader. It's got a 105 PS engine as standard, a 2 litre TDCi. It's a great and solid engine. What we are going to do is we're going to look at the pros, we're going to look at the cons, and whether, if you are looking at a Ford Transit, whether you should buy one, or maybe reasons why, if you shouldn't buy one. So again, it is all about opinion. So if there's something you don't like today, drop a comment in the section below. Let me know anything I've missed, anything we can add to the video to help the community out and get more information all together. If you can like and subscribe to the channel, it would be much appreciated. But yeah, let's have a look around the Transit. So being the L3 H3 model, obviously it's a huge van. So it won't get in most car parks. You need an H2 model, which is where that line starts there, would be a H2. And then obviously that is a H3 model, which you can clearly see there. It's a huge van. I'm obviously 6 foot, 5'6", so you can see the size of the van in relative to that size of it. So I think what's nice is the protectiveness. So you've got bumpers all around the vehicle. So these are to protect the sides of the van. So if one of these to replace, it's 10-20 quid to replace the side panel, where if you used to scratch the paintwork, cost anywhere from £400 to £500. So I think Ford have really thought protection wise and longevity, because that's what it's all about. In 6-7 years time, will this still be a viable van? Will it still look good? Will it still be good? And if you do need to replace them parts, they are cheap, and well, not cheap, but cost effective in that relation. So we'll come around the side of the vehicle. This is a rear wheel drive model. Most 350 L3 Transits are rear wheel drive. Just from Ford, that's what most people order. However, you can get front wheel drive models. That tends to be your L2 or H2 models. Most L3 models are rear wheel drive just because that's where they're built. They are great. Obviously in the wet, if there's not much weight in the back, they can be a little bit bouncy on the back end, but that's the case with any rear wheel drive vehicle. I think one of the upsides is that payload wise, these have got a decent payload. You're going to be over the ton mark easily, so you'd have a decent payload on this size of van. And in the competition, for example, your sprinters and crafters and boxers, it competes with all those anyway. You'll easily get the ton mark in. You know, I know that some models you can get to 1.2, 1.3, but it varies on what type of obviously model you're looking at engine wise. This particular one will do 1173 altogether, so you'll easily get that ton model in there. I think the upside or the downside of the model is the height. So I'd recommend, if you was looking at a rear wheel drive, to get a rear step fitted, because obviously standing on that or getting into the vehicle, we'll have a look in the back now. I mean, look, so I'm not massively tall, but practicality wise, if you're lifting sofas or having this size of van, you are going to be putting a decent amount of stuff in there. You're going to be getting in and out all the time, so I'd recommend getting a rear step fitted. Rhino's products I've used in the past for a lot of customers, and they're a great step. They're easy to fit. You're looking around the sort of £300-400 mark. To show you that step, it's just quite a big jump. If you look in the rear, I'm 5'6", you can stand up. I can stand up in a H2, which will finish around here, but there is a slide. So if you do really want that height space and ease wise, this is going to be, I've seen one for it. I'm going to come forward a bit, the ply lining in the van. We'll see, it's all fully ply lined from Ford as standard up the sides and the rear. You've got your standard bulkhead, and you have got a little bit of space on the hood there. You've got natural lights as you open. These have been disconnected just for battery purposes. Obviously the vehicle's currently going through a preparation stage, but you are looking now 3H3, I'm 5'6", decent amount of space, and you'll easily get that ton payload in there. But yeah, let's have a look around the cab, the driver's side, we'll speak how it drives, and then we'll go from there. So we'll look at the interior on the Ford. So you've got, again, Ford I think are very up there with the interior. So you've got a nice build quality, it's solid, it feels like it's got the longevity, the plastics don't feel cheap, they feel solid, and that's the main thing. So again, 6-7 years time, constantly in and out of the vehicles. You want it to age well, and if you have a look around the interior now, you'll see obviously the vehicle will age well. So standard, the leader model, you do get Bluetooth connectivity as standard. So Bluetooth, you've got electric windows, air conditioning does come standard on a limited, not a trend model. A trend model is an optional extra, and so is a leader model, which is leader model is. You can have a basic Transit L3 H3 with air conditioning as an optional extra. However, on this model it hasn't, where you can have it as an option extra from new. Same with any van, you can order extra bits on there. If you do want aircon as a standard and alloy wheels, for example, you will need to go for a limited model. So interior wise, again, the seats are nice and comfortable. You do have an armrest as standard. Even though this is the most basic model, it is very well spec'd and you get a decent amount. But let's look at 5 main points. then look at 5, obviously, not to say bad points, but maybe downsides of the vehicle, and then we'll give it an SRB TV score out of 10. So that's the L3 H3 Transit. So I say if we look at 5 good points, we look at 5 bad points. Obviously, a lot of my videos, we don't talk about driving. So if you would like me to do a driving video, and we'll do a drive by how the vehicle drives, just drop it in the comment section below. However, drive-wise, the Transits, they are, you know, it's not a Lamborghini, it's not Ferrari, but they do drive really well. They're solid, they're bulletproof, they're up there, I'd say, with your top vans. If you are looking for a big van, the 2-litre engine TDCi is not, obviously for a big vehicle, it's 25, 30 miles per gallon. On a good day, if you're, depending if you're carrying the weight in there, obviously that can be lower. So fuel economy is never going to be great on this size because it's a huge van. It's one of the biggest 3.5 ton vans you can get on the road. So it's not necessarily going to be fantastic on fuel, I'm not going to say that. But the 2-litre engine is a good engine, it pulls well, it's certainly got enough power for it. So 5 good points is, I'd say, the reliability factor. Ford are up there, they still own obviously a big market share, parts are cheap if you need to replace them because there's a lot of them. I'd say 2, aesthetic wise, I think it's absolutely fantastic looking. It's a modern looking van, anyone to sign what it, get the business looking good. It's definitely going to look, you know, it looks the part. It doesn't look like driving around something cheap or nasty. It really has got that Ford sort of genuine build quality. Number 3, I'd say you spec as standard electric windows and Bluetooth. Really, in a modern vehicle, you know, I know heated seats are nice, all your extra gizmos and gadgets, but it's a decent amount of spec. You can get your phone in there, electric windows. In the UK, it's only hot once or twice a year. It's pretty much like this every other day, so you don't necessarily need that air conditioning or, for example, on that side. So number 3, I'd say price bracket. Price bracket is a really positive factor. So they are very reliable. Obviously, you do pay a little bit more for a Ford, but when you're looking at purchasing one, the resale value is great. Marketing value, Ford is one of the most searched vans in the entire market, and then these vehicles do hold the money on the used side really well. Space, I say number 4, sorry, was space in the rear of the vehicle. You've got a decent amount of size. You've got a load length of around 3.3 metres, so you easily get like a 3-metre carpet length in there. It's a good size, it's a good amount for someone who needs 3 Euro pallets or standard pallets to go in the back. The downsides about the van, I'd say rear wheel drive, just that step, it's quite awkward to get into the back. And obviously if it is wet like day like today, you might be slipping around. Number 2, obviously parking. It's a big van. That's always going to be a downside. It's always going to be a negative factor. Parking one of these beasts in central London isn't going to be great, or wherever you're based or located. But if you need a big van, that's going to be the case no matter what you look. And apart from that, I'd say the negative sides of it, there's not many. Ford are the market leaders for a reason. They're up there, the top tier. So anything you feel I've missed, pop it in the comment section. But if you could subscribe to the channel, guys, I'd really appreciate it. If you do drop a comment into today's video, that again would be much appreciated. But yeah, that's the L3 H3 Ford Transit, an SRB TV score out of 10, not 5. We keep changing it. It's definitely going to be a 7.5 out of 10. And again, I think the reasons for that speak for itself. So any questions, drop it in the comment section. Thanks again. Cheers. Bye.